What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another great edition of No Love Philly, the podcast dedicated to artists, activists, musicians, comedians, performers, breweries, basically anybody that makes the city of Philadelphia and the surrounding area as awesome as it is. This episode is sponsored by Good How Are You Fest, taking place at Slime Time and Tralfamadore this May 6th and 7th with over 25 bands for only $11. You can get them cheaper if you went on for one day, but what would be the point of that? You can get tickets now at goodhowareyou2017.brownpapertickets.com. That's goodhowareyou2017.brownpapertickets.com. We're going to be there, so you should be too. This time around, we went out to New Jersey. We crossed the Walt Whitman Bridge, and we interviewed Lennon Catwell of Burned Out Still Glowing, recently signed to Lockjaw Media, who, by the way, we can't wait to get on the podcast. We talked a little bit about how he and his band raised $8,000 through crowdsourcing, having hippie parents, and more. Again, I want to point out that May 6th and May 7th, there's going to be 25 bands going on at Slime Time and Tralfamadore. You can get tickets at goodhowareyou2017.brownpapertickets.com. I know this intro is rushed, but I'm running against a deadline, and I want to make sure that we get this out there. Make sure to like us on social media, Facebook, Instagram. I'm going to start trying to be more active on that. But do make sure that you like us. Look out for Burned Out Still Glowing. If you can, check out Lennon Catwell. They're always performing shows in Jersey and Philadelphia, so make sure you check them out. All right, so without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and go to Mr. Lennon Catwell of Burned Out Still Glowing. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye. Got to interview him. All right, man. Let me plug in over here. I got them on. Everything's recording. All right, man. Why don't you...
Check one.
You're
yes,
awesome.
sir.
Yeah,
Perfect.
You're lit. Why don't you tell everybody who you are and what band you're in and what you do? And
Cool. My name is Lennon Catwell. I am the founding member of a band called Burned Out Still Glowing. In the band, I do vocals and play guitar.
yeah, man. So my first question is, why are you out here in Jersey? Jesus, man.
I know. I'm a Jersey guy. I grew up in the Pine Barrens.
You probably have to hold that closer.
Oh yeah, totally. I grew up in the Pine Barrens. Not much to do, but I knew that Philly was the only thing that had a scene, close to me. But I didn't want to quite move to the city. I'm not all there. I'm not a full city boy, so I moved just outside of the city.
You said there's nothing to do around here. Do you play any shows like in this immediate area or?
Not really. There's a place that just started like doing local shows called Harper's. But from what I hear, before my time, there was clubs out the ass.
Really?
Yeah.
There were.
Yeah,
So this had a popping scene here. Or?
At some point, yeah. For bands, clubs were like a bigger thing. But apparently, yeah. Now there's not really a single music club. It's a lot of, if anything, it's DIY.
Wow,
for the most part, yeah.
So, are there any? I was talking to the guys at Slime Time. They run a house venue.
Yeah. I haven't played there yet, but I definitely want to. I hear nothing but great things.
It's all great things.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Man.
Yeah. That's
are there
awesome.
any house venues here in Jersey?
Yeah, there's this place called the Sunroom, I think. These are all cats that are in a great scene around here. The band called Space Cadets. There's this dude Dylan that hosts shows around there on like Warwick Road, not too far from here. But there's a couple of little spots, but nothing that's major just yet.
Awesome. Do you know how often those guys are doing shows? I mean, how?
From what I see,
it's
like, I played once at that dude Dylan's house. He calls it something, and for the life of me, I can't remember it right now. It's definitely escaping me. But he's a great performer. But yeah, I played with them with this band called Space Cadets, who I now have a split EP with. Just good friends of mine that invited me.
So Space Cadets, you're doing the split EP with them. Were you a member of that band, or were you just performing with them for shits and giggles? Or?
Yeah. Just met acquaintances through. I'm not even sure who through. I think it was just from playing shows. I really liked his band and said, wow, that was awesome, and he said the same. And we just started playing a few shows. They're like younger than me too. They're like 6 years younger than me, but they're like, for kids, man, they shred like nothing. Well, they're not kids now. They're growing up.
So this split, does it have a name?
No, so we went back and forth as far as trying to think of a name, and nothing came up. And he said, "Dude, let's just call it Split. Who cares?" you know.
Right.
And so it's just Split. It's it.
So how many songs are there from you on that one?
There's two of my band and there's 2 of his band. We wanted to keep it short and sweet, just in case one camp didn't like the other band's music or vice versa. You didn't have to, listen to the entire thing. You could just get that nice little taste of what we have.
Awesome. And is that already out? Is it coming out?
Yeah, we just released that about 2 months ago now. It was recorded. It was recorded at this place called the Headroom. In Philly.
Nice name.
Yeah. They do a lot of stuff around here. They record like Hop Along and Pine Barrens, the districts. They've recorded a bunch of people. But we got the opportunity to record with them and hooked up with Space Cadets. And yeah, it's out now. It's Spotify, iTunes, Bandcamp, you name it, it's there.
So this isn't your first body of work, though. You also did with this band, Image is Imaginary.
Yeah,
is that right? So
yeah. That's
tell us a little bit about that.
That was a project that we released. I guess it's 2 years ago now, almost. Holy smokes! Yeah, time is flying on us. But yeah, we released that. We recorded it in Boston with Mike Davidson at Plaid Dog Recording. And that was a really cool experience. We did a fundraiser, an Indiegogo campaign, and we raised like $8,000 to record this album. And
you guys raised $8,000.
Yeah, $8,000.
Indiegogo?
Yeah, I don't know how, through the goodness of a lot of really good people that decided to have faith in me and in us. And I hope it. The music paid for itself. I hope the idea perpetuated something or some sort of movement or something. But yeah, it's
what was
cool.
the movement that you were trying to pull on that?
I really wanted to every musician that every hero in music for me really pulls emotion out of me, and it allows me to relate to somebody that had maybe a similar experience or something. I think that's what music does for a lot of us. It pulls out that emotion, and I was really trying to put my emotion into the music and maybe try to pull emotion out of the listener.
Dude, but still, like $8,000 on Indiegogo.
I know, right?
So when you did that with the Indiegogo, usually when those crowdsource funding opportunities come along, usually do like, okay, if you donate this much, then we'll hook you up with this. If you donate this much, we'll hook you up with that. Did you do anything like that?
Yeah. There was, it was, if you get a CD, you get a performance. There was a couple different perks that happened. We had like stickers. We made candles, and we had like a little merch package where you got like a sticker, a CD, a candle, and we dedicated to everybody that donated. In the notes and stuff like that. The people that it was a lot of little donors actually. That kind of happened, but the biggest donors, the few that there were family members, so they've already gotten their free concert for pretty much their entire life.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
Exactly.
So how long did it take you to raise the money to do that?
It was a couple months. It was like a I think it was like a 2-month campaign. So much happens all the time, so it's hard to keep everything in my brain. But yeah, it was like 2 months, and we sent out a lot of emails, and posted a lot of different things on Facebook and Instagram and all that fun stuff. People holding up signs, when they donated, and just little things like that. And I can't thank everybody enough, for doing that. It still amazes me.
So what do you think attributed to the success of that campaign? Like, what was it that you think that made that successful?
That's hard to say, without sounding like, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to say, like, I don't want to say like, oh, well, I don't know. People just like had faith in me to do something. But maybe they enjoy me as a person, and have confidence, and throwing $25 to your friend or somebody, then in hopes that they make it, because a lot of people fail out there, but it's cool that people are okay with that anyway, if that makes sense. They're hey man, if you fail, no worries, but here's a couple bucks to try to get you there. We all want to make it, in one way or the other.
Wow, man. So recently you guys signed up with Lockjaw.
Yeah.
Tell me how that happened, or what.
Well, Dria's super cool, and she's always doing something in the scene. No matter what, I always see her name pop up everywhere. I don't know who she's collaborating with, so I can't really speak for anybody else as Lockjaw as a whole. But I know that I reached out to her because as soon as she said that she was, doing something with Lockjaw, I was like, sign me up, if you can, because I know that she's just a good person and really is doing good things for the scene right now. So I wanted to work with her. We all got to work together to make this thing happen.
So is it just her at Lockjaw, or?
I think that she might be working with one other person, maybe, or maybe a team of people. I'm not really sure. I didn't dig too deep, but I know that I've just been communicating with her directly, so I haven't really talked with anybody else. But yeah,
That's
you
awesome.
should interview her because she's got a lot going in the scene right now and supports a lot of really cool bands.
Yeah, for sure. In fact, when she emailed us about interviewing you, I was like, yeah, and I'd love to interview the folks at Lockjaw.
Absolutely, yeah. That's a totally cool move.
I think that what's so interesting about Philly is that the scene is so huge.
Yes,
it's not like small at all.
No.
And I mean, there's always something going on. And when I found out about all these like underground shows at like people's houses, I was like, what is this? And then I just recently found out that there's a sideshow community here in Philly, and it's just like, what, like, really, like that goes down here, like world traveling. Like, I don't mean just like local dudes doing some funny tricks. I mean, these dudes are touring all over the world.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I didn't know that either.
So that's what so it's like every time I interview somebody or I come in contact with somebody, it's kind of like I'm pulling back this like another layer of what's going on here. And I man, it's almost like, it's like you find one thing and there's just 10 other things that go past that. Have you had any, or did you have you had any unexpected or like any unexpected things happen in the scene, or see something that you're like, I just didn't see that coming. I didn't think that would happen. I mean, aside from raising $8,000 on
Right.
Indiegogo.
Crazy stuff that I didn't think that I would see in the scene. We've always had a trouble kind of finding our scene, because our music kind of blends into a couple different genres. So it's like you kind of bounce around to different camps and see what kind of feels good. And some people, if they throw a show, they'll throw a deathcore band on, and then an emo band, and then an indie band, and so you get shows that are of all walks of life for sure. But the craziest thing I've ever seen, and it's probably not even that crazy, it's normal to those cats, but there was this venue called The Nest. It was a very famous DIY venue, and it was the fucking craziest place in the world. When you walk down the stairs, there was literally it had to have been like 10 feet long, just pile of trash. It was nothing but trash. Everybody's beer cans, you name it, it was just trash around the whole thing. And when you get down there, you hang a right, and there's like the pipes were leaking on you as you're standing. But
Where is this place?
It was in. I guess it was North Philly. And for all the Philly people that are listening out there, I obviously don't know my way around Philly, so don't hate on me so hard. But I think
they're gonna hate on you because you're from Jersey.
Right,
like
yeah.
I'm already gonna get snacked for
I'm
that.
already there. I know, it's the worst. I'm so sorry. But I think it was in North Philly somewhere. The area, I didn't think that was necessarily that good of an area. But yeah, it was a wild place for sure.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's another crazy. So you were saying that your music blends across several different genres. One of the things that I noticed the most was kind of like the guitar work on some of the stuff that's been published online.
Sure.
So where do you think your music blends? Where do you think you're crossing over?
Lately, it seems that I've actually been going a little softer. I started kind of soft when I started like writing songs, because I listened to a lot of singer-songwriters. My favorite like musical artist is this dude named Elliott Smith, who's just a fantastic songwriter. And my name is Lennon, so I grew up on the Beatles, and obviously kind of thing. But I started playing guitar period because of like heavy metal. Like my favorite guitar player is Dimebag Darrell. He played in this band called Pantera.
I know. I've actually interviewed Phil Anselmo when he was with Super Joint Ritual.
No way!
On his
oh my
tour
god,
bus.
we're gonna have to talk about that.
Yeah, man.
Because Phil is a god in his own right.
Crazy god.
A crazy god. Yeah.
He's an insane kind of guy.
He's an insane dude for sure. That was probably amazing.
Yes. In fact, I recently saw something where it was like when Phil Anselmo invented CrossFit and didn't know it, he's like doing all these crazy like workouts like pre-show.
That's awesome.
But anyway, so you were saying, so you're very familiar with Pantera.
Yeah. Basically,
that's weird because your music seems so much
it's
like not Pantera.
Yeah, right.
It's
it
like definitely not that.
But that's where the guitar playing comes from. I mean, that's why I wanted to be experimental. I didn't always, I didn't want to just strum a chord. I wanted to, pick every note out of it, kind of thing. So yeah, that's where some of the guitar work comes from. But yeah, it's just so I kind of went into the heavier side of things, not necessarily heavy, but more distorted guitars, things like that. But these days I've been writing a lot with my acoustic, and I'm starting to get a little on the softer, spacier side of things, I guess. We'll see with the next record.
Wow, man. So that's so metal influences and like
yeah.
emo. I don't know how would you describe your music?
Yeah, some people say it's emo, and I think the only reason why it might be emo is because my voice is horrible. But it has like my vocal range isn't exactly where I want it to be just yet. But it's emo could just mean emotional. In itself, it doesn't necessarily have to mean whiny voice or anything like that. So, I don't know.
I'm surprised that I was taken back by how large the emo scene is here.
It's crazy,
I mean,
it's actually
big.
growing. Yeah, it's like growing. It came full circle. It disappeared for a split second, and then everybody went back to it real hard. Yeah, and all those dudes are awesome. Yeah.
That's crazy,
And
man.
girls.
Like I mean, I'm just so surprised. One thing that Philly doesn't get that New Jersey does is the Vans Warped Tour.
Yeah, right.
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
Exactly,
So
yeah, that's pretty. I consider that pretty much Philly at that point. But yeah, it is Jersey. You do have to cross the bridge.
You do, man.
Yeah.
So where do they hold that at?
That's at the Camden waterfront.
Yeah, man, that's Jersey.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not.
Jersey, right?
that's
That's
not.
That's Jersey.
It's
Yeah,
across
you
the
guys
river.
can have Camden. That's
Yeah.
all. Yeah, right?
So you were saying that my name's Lennon, so I've had I know tons of Beatles. Were your parents hippies?
Yeah, man. If I had a nickel for every time I heard that, for sure. But yeah, definitely.
You'd raise $8,000 on Indiegogo. If you
Yeah, for sure. But absolutely. And I found out more. At first, I didn't think my mom was, but as I got older, me and her bonded a lot more, and I found out that she was definitely a hippie for sure. But yeah, my dad definitely. Yeah, he was the one that was like, we should name him Lennon.
Wow.
and she was like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, no worries.
So was that at all a trip, like finding out like, oh, this is who my parents are, or and what was that I wouldn't call it a what do you call that?
I don't know, but I know what you mean. Like it's
Cataclysm.
Yeah, right. I'm not good with vocabulary very much, so, but yeah, I don't know. When you grow up, you just grow up. You are definitely a lot of whatever your parents are, and it was only, I know, like, some people could chalk it up to fate that I became a musician kind of thing. But I mean, I was always around music. My dad was really, really, really influential in everything that I listened to, and how to be open-minded and stuff like that. It's very easy to put yourself in a box with things that you care about. So I try not to do that so much.
Was he a musician as well, or were either of your parents musicians?
Yeah.
Aside from the occasional drum circle.
Yeah, they weren't like hippies. They didn't like dress like that. They just knew what was up as far as a good time.
Oh, right on, man.
But no. Yeah, my dad played violin a little bit, but he was more of a painter. He was a painter. My grandmom was a painter. My sister was a painter. They all got the art side of things, and I did not get that gene at all. But he was just always, encouraging when it come to whatever I was really into. And I was into a lot of things growing up, but the music thing really stuck.
So is that what he did as a profession? He was just an artist, or is that what you're?
Yeah. I'd like to say that it was his profession, for sure. He doesn't do it so much anymore. But yeah, when I was growing up, that's what he did the most of.
Damn.
Yeah.
And your mom, what was?
Mom was into real estate,
Okay.
but that was only because she had to raise a family and made the decisions in the life. My parents were divorced, and I lived with my mom for most of my life. But so she was the parent. My dad was the dad, but the friend as well.
All right, that's awesome,
Yeah,
man.
it's awesome.
So wow, man. So we got Lennon here, who grew up with hippie parents. He's raising $8,000 on the internet and kind of just living life. And what's the end goal? What is it that you want? What do you want to come from all this? I saw on your Facebook page said you had just signed with these guys with Lockjaw, and you're like, yeah, let's get famous. So what is it?
Yeah, I mean, fame. I feel like not. It doesn't have to be fame. I'm not trying to be, the next big thing or anything like that. But let's get famous. Like, let's be successful. Let's be able to live off of what we love. That's what everybody's trying to do in life. Everybody's trying to live off what they love. And I feel that I meet so many people that aren't doing what they love. So they have to, either buy a million things to make themselves feel better or something. I don't know, but I've been trying not to make so many excuses as to why I'm not successful, and so really I'm just trying to convey the next good song out there, and hopefully be able to survive off of it.
How soon would you like that to happen?
I'd like to happen right now.
Oh yeah.
I'd like it to happen right now, but it's not going to happen right now. It's going to take some hard work. And hard work that I'm working on.
So what do you do when you're not doing the music thing?
I work in a music store. I work at Guitar Center.
Oh, right on.
Yeah, I've been working with them for like 6 years, going on 6 years now, and it's just a good mediary. Provides me with income to have my house, and I can also meet a million musicians and get a really sweet discount on my gear.
You're kind of already living the dream, aren't you?
Right. Yeah, that's what they say.
So I know that Lockjaw is putting on the All Right OK Fest. Are you guys going to be on that as well?
We are not. That kind of happened. Everything kind of happened together. And I don't know if I have another show that day. I'm not sure what's going on, but we had just started talking with them when they had already set that up. So I didn't ask to be a part of it or anything like that, but ton of good bands
For sure.
that
We
are
should
on
we should
that.
actually just go through the list right
Yeah,
now.
I think Rent Boy's on there. I just want to shout out to Rent Boy because I work with one of the dudes in that band. Is killer.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm gonna see Rent Boy on May 7th, 6th or 7th when they play at Slime Time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You're
so
about to have a good time because that band kicks.
Oh, I can't
kicks
wait.
major ass.
So this is gonna be a All Right Okay Fest, a mental health awareness benefit for Punk Talks. I know that you're not gonna be in it, but if anybody's listening,
Yeah, no, shout
there's
it out.
there's some good stuff here featuring Mikey, ERG, Loose Tooth, Curtis Cooper, Nervous Dater, No Thank You, Past Life, Spur, Brackish, Rebuilder, Manic Pixie, God damn it. Very Bad Vibes. No, that's the name. I didn't fuck that one up.
Yes.
Blushed, Max Stern, Balding. There's going to be comedy, art vendors. 428 at HH Ranch at 7 p.m. 429 the pharmacy 2 p.m. and then at the Cat House at 7 p.m. So I don't know where any of these places are. You're gonna have to get in touch with these folks and figure that out. But it is going down
They're all
April
over the
28th.
place.
So have you played with any of these dudes or dudettes or?
Right, yeah, exactly. Out of that list, no, I played with one of the members of. Actually, no, I've played with two of the members in that band. They're called Nervous Dater. They're from Brooklyn, actually, but like kind of from around here too. Yeah, I played with them a long time ago when they were in separate bands. They're all really good people. Check out their band for sure. They're awesome. And I've only listened to Curtis Cooper, and definitely check out that dude because he's fantastic as well.
Wow, man. So are you playing? You're in Jersey. Are you playing in Philly sometimes? Are you hitting up New York? Are you going?
We haven't done the New York thing yet. That's definitely part of the agenda for sure. It's just about meeting the right people. I don't want to do New York and have it be a bad time. Or I want it to be worth it. I feel like New York has like a pedestal or something, or maybe I'm just putting it on one. I'm not sure. But we've done 2 tours. We mainly did the South and kind of hooked up from there. We've never done the North yet. So
How many dates was that tour?
There's 2. One was like 10, and I think the other one was probably. I think it was 11. I don't know, somewhere around there. So just 11 straight dates.
So where did you all? When you say down south, where did you all perform?
We played in a couple spot in North Carolina, in Wilmington, North Carolina, which is a great area if you ever need to go. Real super DIY hipster feel kind of thing. We met a lot of cool people there.
In North Carolina.
North Carolina, you would never expect, but this was like the only place in it's called Wilmington, North Carolina. It's like Little Portland, I call it. It's very niche-y. We ran into this woman that had like an art gallery, bar, yoga studio / whatever, and she just rented it out for like $500, and like it was her own little like quasi business. It was dope. A lot of cool places.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
$500 rent. She's slinging beer and giving you yoga.
Dude,
like,
that's what I'm saying. Like that is like she has the hustle of a lifetime down
Dude.
there for sure. Like it was cheap.
It
It
was
was
like,
crazy cheap.
What are you gonna do? Everything.
Everything. That's like the best business model you could possibly have for sure.
Man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, when you did the road,
Yeah.
were these paid gigs, or is it kind of like, nah, dude, I'm putting out my hat and like what I get is what I get? Or
There was a little bit. There was a little bit of everything. Some of them, some of the places were nice enough to just give us like a guarantee of whatever. It definitely wasn't a lot of money. It was like $50 to get you from A to B, and that's really what we wanted. We survived on merch sales for sure. I'm pretty sure that's how everybody survives these days.
yeah, man.
But luckily, I mean, if your band is at least somewhat okay, or if you just have a good vibe, I think the vibe is a really important thing. Then people will buy your stuff, because if they're having a good time, you're the host of the party. I'm always the host of the party. So
Right
if I throw a bitchin' party, then maybe somebody will buy a T-shirt for $10 and pay for my meal for that night or something.
Is that one of the difficult parts of touring? Is, oh shit, am I eating tonight?
Yeah,
Or-
kind of. If you don't have any money, if you didn't save up from your day job, which I definitely didn't because I'm always broke. But yeah, it definitely helped it helped. It made us instead of broke us.
So if you were to give somebody advice on like on doing these 10-day tours, 11-day tours, what would you tell them? What advice would you give them?
Make friends. There's always one person in the band that can kind of, that's the face or something like that, and they can go out and interact. But when you have everybody in the band making friends with everybody, it really, really helps. You always have to, because that's, I mean, how do you think, fans aren't fans, they're friends. They're friends. That's what makes it cool. And definitely stack up on merch. We didn't even have enough merch, for sure. Have cool merch too.
Did you guys sell out of merch?
Yeah. What we brought anyway. But I mean, we didn't have much. We had a couple T-shirts, some stickers. I definitely didn't sell out of CDs because I printed way too many of that. Everybody buys digitally now, so physical copies are so. But the candles, we went through those too. Those were good.
Yeah, tell me about these candles that you're saying. I mean?
Yeah, my drummer Steph. Her sister does custom candles, and I just thought, because our name was Burned Out Still Glowing, and you can kind of take a million different meanings from that. But I thought that, when you blow out a candle, you still kind of see that glow afterwards, and it just sort of smokes. It's not on fire, but it's still glowing. So I thought, hey, I think candles are a cool idea. Why don't we make some candles?
So they had your logo on them, or
yeah,
what?
they had our logo for one of our singles called The Clown. This girl, Liz, did for us. We had that sticker on it, and it was really cool. It was just cool.
So is that what you did? You just got candles and then put your sticker on it?
Sticker
and
right
like,
on it.
yo,
Yeah, little custom stickers with our
I
band
bought these
name
for
on.
$1. They just went up like $10 now.
Right, yeah.
Wow,
exactly.
dude.
It was more like we bought them for $8 and sold them for $9.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we didn't make too much off of it because they cost a little more money than like regular stickers, but it was worth it. I just want people to have cool things.
Right on, man. That's and so those sold out really well? Or?
Yeah, really, really quickly. I mean, who doesn't want a candle?
Yeah, I mean, they last forever.
Right,
You know what I mean? The
exactly, yeah.
power's always going out anyway, right?
Especially in Philly.
Yeah.
Pico.
Yeah, man. Great old Pico,
Yeah.
man.
My girl's dad works for Pico. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. So,
Shout out to
I mean, you can shout them out? Yeah, dude.
Yeah. No. They can pay you to shout them out if they ever wanted to, right?
Oh, yeah, right.
Podcast power.
Right, there you go, man. So what do you have planned? What's lined up for you in the works now, man?
We're definitely in the writing stages of things. I have probably like 2 albums worth of material that we just got a new bass player on board. Her name's Alicia. She plays in a band called Resilient, which I'm actually also playing guitar in now. But Resilient is also with Lockjaw now, doing some stuff. They're fantastic.
She's just picking up everybody.
She's
isn't she?
picking up
Drea's
everybody.
like-
The scene is full on right now, and I'm loving every second of it for sure.
That's awesome. So, so you were saying that. So, what you were talking about right now, you said something important. You said that, CD sales, it's 50-50. So, the split, is it for sale? Is it, is it free, or do people get it online? What's the deal with that?
It's pay what you want.
Radiohead did that. It worked out real well for him, I hear.
Right, yeah, and now everybody else is doing it, and I feel like it's backfiring.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Radiohead can do it because Radiohead is Radiohead and has, a bunch of fans that respect them. They've built, not just great music, but a level of respect. And, if everybody just pays what they want, around here, I know I'm broke. I know I'm not, if somebody says pay what I want, I'm going to throw you a 5 and be good, It's just the way it is. It's definitely a tough thing. But this one's pay what you want, and that's cool. I'm not trying to make $1 million here, but we have some physicals, and it's for download as well.
So here's a question. So you raised the $8,000 to record the album, master it, do all of that, right?
Yeah.
So my question to you is, when you're doing something independently, right? I mean, regardless, any way you look at it, it's an investment.
Yes.
Right? I mean, it is. So when you do that $8,000, how many copies did you press of that, and what were you hoping to make? I guess, dude, you put everything into it, man. I mean, there's crazy man hours. You're loading and unloading. You're hauling merch everywhere. You're hitting these tours. What was the? How many did you want to sell? What did you?
I definitely wanted to sell a lot more than I did, for sure. But I was also, I mean, I'm always getting older and I'm always getting better at my craft. And by the time, $8,000 goes real quick in a studio, especially if it's, somewhat of an expensive studio. This particular place was in Boston. I live in Jersey, so I had to travel there.
Why did you pick Boston to do that?
So I won a quote unquote contest. I don't know what it really was, but I won this thing on this website called Sonic Bids, and this dude Mike, who recorded us, enjoyed our stuff and wanted to make a record with us. So he kind of helped out with the whole campaign thing, and everything like that. In hindsight, I actually wouldn't have done it. I would have figured out a better way to get my point across, than using my, if people really were going to donate that, which they did, and I definitely don't regret it in that sense. But I was too young. I like the songs, but you're constantly evolving, and I've already want to record more material and stuff like that. I can't raise $8,000 every record. It's definitely a tough thing.
How would you? Was the goal then? So you entered this contest, and this dude was like, "Okay, if you win this contest, then like I'll help you promote a Kickstarter campaign so that you can pay me to."
Pay me to make a record. Yeah, right. Yeah, it almost seems like, but it wasn't, because his studio was really, really, really nice, and he worked really, really well with us. And I think with what we had, we gave him what we had. He expanded on a couple of ideas, that and definitely made the record sound great. And I think that it sounds great. But when you say $8,000 and you put that on the line, that seems like a lot of money to people. They don't really know, like you said, what goes on. I mean, just the travel, back and forth alone. Having to pay for a hotel.
So you didn't stay out there, or what?
Yeah, I stayed out there for. It was a week one time, a week another time, and then a week another time. So I traveled back and forth like 3 different times to make it happen. And yeah, hotels. I mean, none of that money that I raised even went to all that. I was paying out of pocket for all of that type of stuff. It gets expensive, man. It's real expensive. I mean, all record labels are a bank. They're just paying for you to record.
Absolutely,
and you got to pay them back.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That's what signing to a label is.
Yeah, man.
I mean?
That's exactly what it is, and I fell for it for sure.
That's rough, dude.
Yeah,
that's a good lesson to learn when
Absolutely.
you're young.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Absolutely.
To let me get that one out the way, and then you went you recorded this next album. You said, I'll just go next door.
Yeah,
I'll go
right.
to Philly,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
So what do you think? If you were to compare and contrast, what was the experience like in Philly versus the Boston? I mean, obviously the commute was a lot shorter.
Commute was a lot shorter. The experience in Boston, we did it in 2 days, not in Boston, in Philly. We only did it in 2 days. It was super quick. We were on a limited budget, with the split, but we still, I mean, we've practiced enough. We nailed it in the 2 days, I think, anyway. With Boston, we got to take a little bit more time, and kind of expand on some ideas, and we made it work. Layered guitars, different tones, tried different amps. So it was definitely a professional experience, and I again, I can't thank everybody enough for allowing that to happen in my life. That was a life-changing moment for sure. But I think now I can make an even better product in less time for way less money.
Good, man. So
Yeah.
you really, what's awesome about that is that you grew from that experience. You know what
Always
I'm saying?
be growing. If
So
you're
it's
not,
not
you're
like
dead.
right, so it's not like if you went and you're like 8,000 and you lost it all and you're like, well, shit, if only I had 10,000. You know what I
Right,
mean?
exactly.
And like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
no.
do 10,000 and do the same thing
You
over
can't
again.
be like that. And a couple of those songs like that I recorded. I mean, they all sound good. They sound great for what was given. And Walking Horse will always be my favorite song. It sounds great. He knocked it out of the park. That song was priceless. But all of those songs, it wasn't a bad experience or anything like that. I don't want to convey that
No,
across.
I don't think you are. I think
Yeah.
what you're doing is you're saying, you're being 100% completely honest.
Yeah.
And you're saying this is what happened, and this is what I learned from it. And then when you came around a little bit older, a little bit wiser, you made the decision to do something different. And you changed some things up, and you seem to be happy with that choice as well.
Absolutely.
So and where was the name of the studio that you recorded at again?
It's called the Headroom.
The Headroom
in
okay.
Philly. Yeah, with Kyle Pulley. Super cool dude. Works with a lot of great bands. Just a good vibe.
That's awesome, man. How did you get in contact, or how did you make the decision to go there?
I saw an article on XPN's like The Key did like a write up, and like Jump Philly did a write up about them, and a couple of my friends that are in this band called Pine Barrens, who's fantastic. He was interning there. This dude named Keith Abrams. He's probably best songwriter in Philly. I'm gonna shout out. Maybe even on the East Coast, he's fantastic. I love you, Keith. But he was interning there, and it just made me want to do it even more. Another dude in his band, Brad, it's his brother that works there, so it was just all the more reason to go there and see what was good. Seems like all the good bands are going there. That's where you want to be.
Wow, man, that's bold. So, are you guys going to? Will the two of you? We talked about it briefly, but will both bands on this split be doing a small tour to kind of go with it, or are you?
We kind of planned it originally. That was the goal, but it just couldn't work out that way. We were doing some personnel turnover. My old bass player Craig, we just decided to part ways. He's got another band that he works on real hard, and it was just best for all parties. And we just got another bass player on board recently. Had to fill in for a little while. So yeah, it was gonna happen, but just didn't, and that's okay. We did play a bang and release show at that place called Harper's with a lot of really good people. That was an incredible night for sure.
That's awesome, man. I feel like whenever a band member leaves, it's kind of like a really rough breakup, and then you usually have this like rebound chick that comes in, and then then it's a while till you find that permanent solid like.
Absolutely. Bands are just as much of a relationship as anything else. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man. Sometimes these dudes can be finicky too. It depends on who you're rolling with.
Absolutely, yeah. Luckily, I was rolling with the best people on earth, and we parted ways on the most mutual of terms, and it was nothing but fantastic. I was actually surprised at how cool it was for everybody to just be like, hey, I gotta go do this for a minute.
That's awesome.
Can't thank Craig of Zymotic Flow. Check out that band if you've never seen them.
I will.
Yeah.
I'm here to interview them all, man.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
right.
I feel like I'm catching Pokemon or something.
Yeah,
I wanna
right,
get all
dude.
of them.
Absolutely. That's the best way to be, man. You're gonna do a lot of good things around here.
So people want to find out more about you. They want to learn about more what you're doing. Where do they reach out to you? How do they find out?
bosgmusic.com. We just released this website about 2 weeks ago now.
Cool.
I'm getting better with updating it already. I'm starting to slack, but I'm getting the whole website thing down, and you got to be like an entrepreneur or businessman of some sort.
Dude, I suck at social media.
Man,
like I'm
you
the worst
have
at
to
it.
be good.
I
It's
know.
and you cannot resist it because it is a social world, and we are stuck in it.
Dude, I know.
I've been resistant to it forever, man, but I can't be anymore.
That's awesome though. So you got your website up and running.
Yeah.
You're doing your best to keep it updated.
Yeah, keep it
Are you
updated.
using Squarespace or what are you using?
No, is Squarespace? That's like is that a web hosting thing?
I hope so.
Yeah,
I don't want to be saying the wrong thing.
Right, yeah. No, you're right on that. I was mixing it up with that Square, that credit card app. But no, I'm using Weebly.
Okay.
And I'm going to shout out my girlfriend, Shawnee Houlihan. Check out her record. It's awesome. But she pretty much made that entire website for me because she's that's what she does. Like that's her forte. She's amazing.
I swear I wish I could hire somebody just to handle my social media for me.
Dude, you can. Yeah, those people are out there. You just
really?
Yeah, you just got to contact them.
I know,
yeah,
but I'm pretty sure once I get that price tag, I'm
Right,
like, no, dude,
yeah.
I'll just not
Somebody
do
will
it
for cheap,
myself.
man. Somebody will do it for weed and beer.
All right, man. I gotta find that guy.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
So okay. So BOMG, right?
BOSG.
BOSG,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, it's cool.
BOSG.com.
BOSGmusic.com.
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 Is that where they find you on all the social media as well?
Yep,
Instagram?
Spotify, Facebook, I almost said MySpace. Oh my god, that's
Ooh.
insane. I'm not that old. It's
I thought about starting one just for the hell of it, just to see like who's out there.
Dude, there's gotta be somebody out there that's still on that thing. But we're everything's right on the website. That's what makes
Okay,
it easy.
you'll be able to connect all your social media, whatever it is.
It's all linked.
Hey, I'm just curious, where do you see the most traffic from on your own web stuff? Where is it? Who's where do you get the most interaction?
What the Instagram is basically just me for the most part, but I post a lot of the band photos on there and stuff like that. But I interact a lot through there. But Facebook does a pretty good job. I get more responses when I link my band to my own personal Facebook.
Okay.
I haven't grasped the social media thing very well either. It helps when people go to shows. You can create an event. That's about as far as I've gotten. I don't do a lot of like marketing campaigns or anything like that. We have like 12,000 followers on Twitter, but I think that those are all like robots. I don't think they're real people because Twitter doesn't really work for me either.
Wow, man. Well, cool deal. We'll find Burned Out Still Glowing. BOSG music.com. You'll be able to link up to all their social stuff. Hey, also do me a favor, since we're on the subject, could you like No Love Philly, please, on Facebook, on Instagram? I promise you I will start updating it more here and there, I think, maybe. But like it anyway, because you never know what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
So that's it, man. Thank you so much for your time. Lennon, thanks for letting us hang out in your pad in Jersey. And
absolutely. Thank you so
I've enjoyed
much.
the
No
interview.
Philly. Get to know No Philly.
Awesome, man. Thank you.